What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy
Let's go.
Valentine's Day, everybody. I had to remind my man crush, Will Plummer, that it was Valentine's Day. So,
I knew it was. I knew it was, but you did kind of catch me off guard this morning when you're like, "Hey, happy Valentine's Day." I was like, "Oh yeah, you could say that to people other than your Valentine."
yo, it was cute because you were the first person to text me on Valentine's Day. And I was
That's
like, I've never had a dude that was the first person to text me on Valentine's Day. So I was just like, oh, hi, honey. Happy
it's
Valentine's Day. It
the
was
start
amazing.
of something special.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's good.
What's up, my guy? What are we
No,
doing?
we're doing the first installment of, I guess, the Will Plummer show, if that's what we're calling it, or I don't know. We'll work on names.
Look, I just put your face with a bunch of hearty faces around it, and I was just like, oh, here we go.
Let's bring him on.
Let's go.
I haven't
What?
met him yet.
Here we
What's
go.
up?
What's up, Dylan?
Can I come play?
Yeah, let's do it. How are you doing? You're
Good,
wearing
man.
your Valentine's Day red. That's nice.
Yeah, well, you call it Valentine's Day. I call it being blooded out because I'm a thug.
Oh, okay. I thought I'm a girl, so I thought blooded out was something totally different. But okay.
I thought you were just getting your Red Wings tonight.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I've done that for multiple. Okay, yeah. Okay. All right. Fine. Continue on.
You don't know what blooded is? Remember Lil Wayne had a song?
Yeah, I know.
Are we talking about what I think we're talking about?
Yeah, I'm definitely talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Copy.
All
right.
All right. What's up?
I digress.
Just
hey,
fucked
good to
up
meet
the
you,
whole-
Plummer.
Good to meet you, dude. So, okay, I'm kind of curious. Gee, I've wondered this for a while. What prompted you and Colleen to start the Glinton Things? And what is, like, where did the name the Glinton Things come from?
Oh, it's funny. It came from the army.
Okay.
Yeah, really did. When we were in the army, when like it was basic training, and so mostly like I would say like, "Hey, don't worry about what Garrett's doing. Garrett's doing Garrett things."
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like they would all be like, "Hey, where are you going? Are you like, are you going off base? Are you going whatever? Like, what are you doing?" And I'd be like, "Hey, don't worry about it. I'm doing Garrett things."
Yeah.
And
Copy.
so, right, when Colleen and I wanted to start this, that's where the name came from. It was like, "Hey, don't worry about it. We're doing Glinton Things."
Mm-hmm.
Like we just do what we do. Like it's like, don't worry about it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you are worried about it, don't worry about it. It's Glinton Things.
It's not for you.
Yeah, it's Garrett Things. Like that's just where it came from. We started the podcast because I guess as gay or lesbian, or as I hate the word queer, people were that whole timeline, that 2020, 2021 timeline. I just was like, hey, I don't agree. And I'm under the same banner. So I think we just wanted to have a voice and wanted to say like, yo, no, this isn't what everybody fought for. This is some weird shit.
Yeah.
So that was kind of it. But
that
yeah.
Checks.
It's really cool to see the evolution of the Sevon podcast world universe, Gee, I remember you calling in and talking about
saying
like,
I hate Don Lemon. Yes, I hate Don Lemon. We don't claim him. He doesn't count.
I know. You called in a bunch back in the day, and I even remember, and maybe my timeline's off here, but I do remember you saying like, "Hey, like I didn't agree with you on a lot of these things, and I've come around to agree with you." And my wife she was not there, and like didn't like Sevi, and then would be hearing the podcast or the influence it had on you, and then she slowly came around, and then now you guys are fully doing your own thing. It's crazy cool.
It is, and we love it. You know what I mean? Like that was a really fun time for us. really, I say fun, but she was aggravated as shit. But yeah, it was a good time for us, and it was a good time for me, and it was just like, hey, you can have your own voice, right, and talk about the things and make mistakes. Like you make mistakes sometimes too when you say things and you have opinions and you make mistakes, and it's okay to make those, and it's okay to figure those out, right? Like you don't have to just double down all of the time. You can be like, oh, I probably should have thought about this a different way. And so that's kind of what we wanted to do. It's a family thing too, kitchen table. Like we were always able to sit down at a kitchen table and talk and have differing opinions and still be family afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was where it came from. That's where it came out of. And I'm so pumped that this is where it got to. Like facts. So
And then when did Dylan come on board? Like, how did you get folded into the mix? How did you meet Dylan? I don't know why I didn't know who you were, Dylan. Is this bad? Have we known each other for a while? But
I've known about you. You've had a much more of a presence in the chat and call-ins and things like that. Yeah. I was very strong in the chat back in Matt, Josh, and Sevon before this. And when Sevy just did his own thing, I was there a lot alone, and but it was like me and Heidi.
Yeah,
a couple other people, but
oh geez,
yeah, and then I just got I got a promotion. Yeah, I got real busy, and I just couldn't. I'm in construction, so like I can't sit there while I'm listening and be commenting and things like that. So it just doesn't work out. I had to basically go out, but I was on Sevy's channel. He brought me on the podcast back in 22, May of 22. Cool. So I was actually even a guest on a podcast that filled in Alex. Some guy who climbed skyscrapers was supposed to be there, and Sevy sent me a link, and so it just kind of worked out. It was cool. This is my little 15 minutes of fame. But yeah, and then me and Jerem started talking about doing a show for covering the fights because Sevy stopped covering it, and then so that's how we made Rear Naked Takes. And then from there, just got intermingled. We got so blessed by Colleen and Garrett by allowing us to be on their channel, which helps everything, helps the numbers and traction and all that good stuff. So here I am.
The funny thing is like just what Dylan said. I was on, like, that was the first thing I did too, and I'm blessed to have been on Sevon's show. I was on Sevon's show to talk about one of the most difficult things that's ever happened in my life, and I just thought, like, hey, if I can talk about it there, I can talk about it anywhere.
It was a great show.
And so, like, this is kind of what got born out of it, and I'm happy. And I just want people to come on and have a good time and talk. And whether it's like you're telling whatever stories you're telling, like I want it to be a place where you can tell those stories. Same way where he gave me a place where it was okay to tell those stories.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's where we got.
Love it.
Did you tell the stories because you've they were resolved in your life, and you knew that there was a lot of people that needed to hear it? Like, are you trying to convey that message of like, you don't have to air out all your business, but if you got something really challenging or traumatic thing in your life, like, you're not alone?
It was the first public forum that I ever talked about it on, other than like, a police station or at a school. But I was very motivated, and I was not motivated. I guess I was inspired by Kayla Harrison. I'll say that. Like, after I saw the episode of Kayla Harrison, and definitely.
Who is she again? Was she the jiu-jitsu?
Is she jiu-jitsu?
She's a gold medal judoka.
Judo.
Yeah.
I remember listening to that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now she's the UFC champion.
Yep.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, she's a badass.
she was fire. her conversation and her willingness to talk about whatever was fire. She has her, I don't know, they're not her kids. I think they're her sister's kids, but she's raising them, and that was inspirational. And then the Xavier interview, and I'll be completely like honest with that, was the Xavier interview, the first one that Sev did, to be able to talk about something from being a mixed kid. That gave me the fire to be able to talk about like race, I guess, if you want to say that. So yeah, I mean, multiple interviews that he had made it so that I felt like, hey, let's talk about this, and I don't give a shit, and you can look at it however you want to, take it however you want to, but like, let's go. So it's not me. You know what? Let me do this here. Boom. Okay. Will Plummer.
That's better.
Will Plummer's in control. Go ahead, bro. What's up? What are we doing?
What are we doing? I actually had like a little story from this morning after our call on the phone, Garrett. So I was driving to the gym, and I get to the gym, and we have like a rowing club. They like rent half the space from the gym, and they're rowing. And there's this one kid who he's separate, and they're doing like private stuff, but he has some sort of special needs. Like, I think it might be like he might be autistic or something, right? But he's doing a private lesson, and it's with his mom and the rowing coach, and the rowing coach is going and trying, and they're doing like the pick drill where you like break it down stroke by stroke, and he's doing it. And I can kind of tell, like, he just looks bored, right? And I go to the bathroom, and I texted the owner of the gym. I was like, hey, I'm like, man, I feel like they're just trying to force a square peg into a round hole right now. Like, he just does not want to just sit and do this one monotonous thing. He needs some creativity, right? And I'm saying I was like, all right, I think CrossFit is what this kid needs. I walk out, and I had my empty barbell set up. He was trying to pick it up off the ground. And then I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, you can do it. Like, let's see it. And he like full rounded spine brings it up over his head. But then he's like, doesn't know how to get it down. And I'm like, just bend your elbows and like bring it down in front. And he's like, I can't, it's too heavy. I'm like, no, you did it. You got it. And then like, we like set it down. And then I'm like, this is how you do it. And I showed him, like, here's a press. And then he gets it back over his head again. He does not get how to get it down. So I grab a PVC, and I'm like, here, this is what you do. And like, teach him that. And so I kind of like taught it, and he did a couple, and the coach and the mom were like, yeah, good job. And so he goes back to the rower, and I keep warming up, and I'm like, man, like I was like, this kid just fucking needs it, right? Like, I know he wants to do that, or he's curious. And then so he gets done with rowing, they're cleaning up, and he's like cooling down on the bike. The mom and the coach are stretching. And then I kind of just like walked over to the mom, and I was like, hey, if I'm going to work out for like 7 minutes, and then I'm happy to show him more if you guys are staying around. And I turned my back, and I like grabbed my bar, and he's off already, right? Like, she must have went over and like told him that, and he thought it was like, no, we're doing this right now. And so he runs over, and so I go get the training bar, and we did 3 rounds of basically him doing a hang, clean, and jerk with the training bar, and then straight leg raises. And he did not stop fucking smiling the whole time. And yeah, it was like weird, and it wasn't perfect. It wasn't the perfect straight leg raises, and it wasn't what you would think a clean and jerk was, but it was just such a unique little moment of where I was like, hey, you could either like, a coach could brush it off and, all right, yeah, he picks it up, awesome, that's cool. Or be like, hey, I'm going to take 5 minutes and, invest in this kid a little bit and show him that, hey, fitness can be more than just like rowing or running or whatever. And then I went to the mom, I'm like, hey, my schedule isn't great right now, but if you guys are interested, right, and he wants to do more, like, hit me up. Like, here's my phone number. And for me, it was like a unique thing of like, what can we do as a coach, right, to help people that normally wouldn't like fitness normally doesn't serve or cater to, right? Like those are people that are ostracized normally from fitness, or it's too difficult or too hard, whether it's CrossFit or whatever, right? Like people look at CrossFit and be like, oh, it's too complicated for that, person to do, when really it's not, right? We all need the same shit, and it just takes a little bit of work. I don't know. I want thoughts or.
Go ahead if you want to go, Dylan. If not, I will.
How old was he? 6? Is that what you said?
No, dude, he was probably a teenager.
Oh, I don't know where I got that. I thought you said he was much younger. So he was a teenager with disabled. What was he? Down syndrome or
no,
like spinal
I think
bifida or something like that?
I think he might have been really autistic.
Okay.
I don't know. But
some kind of neurological
some sort of a
separation from physical. What normally is your physical like
nonverbal.
No, he talked a little bit.
Okay.
Like it wasn't. It took a second, but I could tell when I was warming up. He's on the rower and he kept looking over, like he was just watching me warm up with the empty bar, and then he must have saw me do it, and he's like, "I want to do that."
Yeah.
And then he ran over and he's like, "It's heavy, like off the ground." And then I'm like, "You gotta squeeze your butt." And then he squeezed his butt and he freaking muscle snatched it over his head.
That's freaking rad, dude. The only thing I have, I mean, you did it perfectly, and I think the way you at the end there, you know, what can we do as coaches to make more of those situations happen, or engage, or make sure we pay attention more? I'm not a coach, but yeah, that is incredibly important, especially for a younger kid. He's a teenager. I don't care about his disability in this reference, because any kid is going to see a strong grown man, and from a male standpoint, like that's going to be like, I want to do what that guy's doing, right? And so if you could just take a second from your day and give him a tip, you become Superman all of a sudden. And it's like, those are the influences you want on your kids' lives, not TikTok and shit. You know what I mean? So
I would say on that, as two moms raising a boy, that's amazing. That's awesome. And we like to, like our kid is in baseball right now and a bunch of other things, and it's all male role models that he's in front of, and male role models that we trust with him to do. And he's in kids CrossFit, and he's in kids boxing, and he's in, a lot of stuff, and he gets to go run around with the boys. And I think that's fucking awesome. Yeah. And he should. And adult male figures that I trust should be, in his life and helping him. So for me, that's really cool. Like, and I would definitely be like, hey, I would call you and be like, hey, my kid's probably going to need you to do a individual lesson or something like that, just because his focus or whatever. But like, yeah, if there are men out there willing to do that and willing to, like that's cool as shit. Yeah.
I mean, like I think back to when I first started working out in like a gym. I think in high school, I got this summer plan at Snap Fitness. It was like $75 for 3 months or something like that. And just naturally people will gravitate and come to you. But one of the trainers there, he just starts they give you unsolicited feedback, or I would ask questions, and like, that's how you learn, right? That's how you get into this shit. And I think oftentimes we don't take the 5 minutes extra that it's going to take out of our day to have that conversation with someone, whether it's in a gym or just in the grocery store, right? Starting up a conversation. In those, like, I think that's what's cool about this, is it's an extension of that, right? Like you and Colleen have built that platform for all of us from the Sevon chat, right? To hop on and talk and stuff like that. But then it's more than that, right? And we have an outlet to talk about things.
I think it's necessary, only because like you don't get to finish conversations so much, right? Like I work with the public. I'm in a deli. I'm basically a glorified bartender. Just there's no alcohol. It's all food. You know what I mean? And so like I have to be a part of people's day all day, and I am. And it's like, hey, I have to know, I want to finish these conversations with you. So like if I have conversations with people in the chat, or I have conversations, or I listen to conversations on YouTube, I want to finish or elaborate on those conversations. Like sometimes like I'll listen to a podcast and I'll be like, oh, this conversation is so good, and it never gets finished.
Yeah.
And I want to finish it. Pause. But like, you know what I mean? It just, that's kind of what I wanted this to be, is just like have the whole entire conversation, whatever conversation you want to stay on. If you want to move to a new one, like that's fine. But like, I just, it's, there's so much happening in this world right now that if you don't get suck about it, it could mess with you. You know what I mean? Like, do I want to scroll on TikTok forever or Instagram forever? Or do I want to have an actual conversation with an actual person? And even if I disagree with you, try to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't hate you because we have a different conversation. I just want to have a conversation. You know what I mean? Like, or otherwise, what is social media for? What is this for if we can't have the conversation? It's just a dark hole of reels that your algorithm will feed you and like mess with you.
Yeah.
Like, have a conversation with people.
Is it just right, like junk food for your brain, or are you learning something? Are you gaining something from it?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'd rather learn. I'd rather someone tell me I'm wrong.
Well, and then the other, like with the social media thing, is it can be very much an attack vector, which is not good for you and your mental health. You know what I mean? By like, if you say something that someone doesn't like, or the internet doesn't like, I mean, they could just bombard you and flood you. And if you're looking at all that crap, that's going to suck. But it is conversely a place where you can post a statement about something with no pushback, not a conversation of where did you get that thought? How did you, in the dynamic that we have here, if I say something, Will might be like, well, where did you learn that? Do you have a source? Or, you have to be intellectually engaged. Whereas like kind of internet stuff is just like, you can just say your statement and there's zero like challenging to your thought process or where that comes from. So then of course algorithms work the way they are, and then it eventually just starts revolving into your own little thought bubble, and you're just here and you're never getting that pushback because the algorithm's going to serve you what you want to see.
Well, yeah.
So, and then it turns into the echo chamber, right? And so you guys having this platform and building it the way you have, and having these conversations with people, bringing Pat Lang on and all that, like just like, hey, let's talk about it.
I love to disagree. I love to disagree with him. I also too, I wonder what you guys think about this. To be able to disagree with someone, you kind of have to be able to trust them a little bit. Like, I trust you to disagree with me and also be like in order to have real deep conversations about things and have people kind of like, you have to be able to trust them to do that. And not like, okay, so if I'm talking to someone that disagrees with me and all they want to do is yell at me, right? Like, I don't trust them to actually hear me. I don't trust them to actually be like, okay, I don't agree with you, but I can see it that way, and I can have this conversation with you and whatever. And we might not agree at the end, but it's okay. Or you have someone that just wants to yell at you and scream at you and tell you like you're however many phobics that they want to tell you that you are. What's the point of that conversation? Nothing. You came on the show never wanting to have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just wanted to come on and prove your point and yell at me. That's not what I wanted. So in order to have like a real conversation, you kind of actually have to trust the person a little bit to have the conversation with you.
Do you think it's trust in the individual, or it's trust in maybe the I got to imagine that most people are pretty sensible and have some level of decency to where no matter what side of the coin we lie on, we can have a conversation about it and it doesn't turn violent
Nasty.
or nasty. Exactly. Yeah. And do we have that apprehension because all we see are the right and the left in their most violent states? That's all we see. That's all we consume on the news. That's all we consume on the internet. So we're kind of conditioned to think, oh, this side's going to scream at me in my face and call me a communist. And this side's going to scream at me in my face, call me a fascist. And it's just like, it's just this very, very heightened state from either side captured in a small moment. And that's all we've consumed for the last 10, or we'll call it 10 years to be generous, but.
Mm-hmm. You can go, Will, but this is true. Your mom, I absolutely believe in this. It's giving someone the power to harm you and trusting they will be willing to have a genuine conversation and not fire shots at you. That's why initially I was like, hey, good faith conversations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I might make a mistake and I might offend you because I might say something that you're like, oh, that's offensive, but I'm not trying to offend you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally trying to ask a question because I don't understand. And that's what, your mom, that's exactly.
And by having face-to-face conversations, we can better grasp intent.
Yeah.
So I can, by the way you verbalize something, your words on transcript are going to look one way, but me hearing it from your face and you're telling it to my face, and it might sound genuine. You have, an inflection about like how you say it. Like that's how I gauge and kind of understand, okay, she's being genuine. She's not trying to attack me. And so I need to have that discernment too. Right. So it's not just about maybe you delivered it poorly, but it's like, maybe I received it poorly and I got to check that too in order for us to move along and have this conversation. Right.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, like, when we talk about like social media, like stories are essentially like the town square, but there's no one else yelling at you back, right? But if you post something, right, like, and it's there and it's permanent and there's a comment section, right? Like people can say shit back, right? Like the whole thing about like getting ratioed or like stuff like that. Like people can have that dialogue and that discourse where it is more of like a town hall setting. Obviously it's not in person and you're not face to face and you can't, like Dylan, you're saying, read their inflection in their words or their body language. But I think the reason why, Dylan, when you're talking about how there is such a polarized violent right and left that'll call you a communist or a fascist if you're on the opposite side as them, is those people do exist, right? That are so delusioned on either side, or that's what they believe, right? It's not even a delusion for them; it's their truth, and that's kind of like a silly thing too, of like what's your truth and what's not. But ultimately, it's your perception is your reality. What you make it, the longer you live in it, it becomes it. And I mean, I kind of mentioned it on Tuesday's show a little bit, but. In 24, when Trump got elected, I essentially got blocked by my stepmom.
I remember
that. She sent a message along the lines of, this is what you voted for. You voted against women's rights, gay rights. And, that your choices have consequences. And you're blocked, right? When I had something that I wanted to tell her and my dad that year at Thanksgiving. And a couple days later, I called my dad and I was like, earlier I had called my dad that week and I was like, hey, can I come to Thanksgiving? And I don't know if this year's a good year for it. Worried about something happening with my stepmom or my sibling, and didn't really sit well with me. And then the blocking happened and I kind of knew who was going to have a blow up. And I knew it from the beginning, right? Because I lived in the house and knew the kind of person she was and knew that she wasn't going to listen and be rational. Nor was I ever like a super political person publicly. with that stuff. Never had a conversation with her about who I voted for. Never really did with my dad either. Other than I think he just assumed who I was going to, and never asked why I did and voted the way I did.
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly, I plugged my nose and dropped it in the ballot like I think most Americans did that year, regardless of what side they chose. And
it's funny because it's, for me, it was it wasn't this one. It was probably 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that was his first year. And that year, that was Hillary versus Trump. Yeah. And that one, I probably would have been like, hey, how, and I would have been like, cause I was to my uncle. I was definitely like, how can you vote for him? He's voting against everything that I am, everything that we are. Like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and just like blanketly assumed like, hey, if you voted for Trump, you were racist. And yeah, 2024 felt absolutely the opposite fucking way. It took 4 years, probably into the Biden administration or whatever. But yeah, after that, I was just like, oh, yeah, I can see it now. And it just, my bad. And I've apologized. I've literally apologized to people that I did what your family did to you. And been like, my bad. I just didn't see it then.
Yeah.
Like, my fault.
But yeah. And then like, I think the reason I bring it up is more so when we're talking about the different courses of dialogue that we have, right? You have social media, you have face-to-face conversation, and right. Like the conversation I needed to have was one that I thought was best had in person with people. And it was, you know, telling my dad and stepmom that my stepbrother had sexually abused me as a kid. And wasn't allowed to have that conversation in person with them. And so I took some time with it of, you know, not shooting from the hip. Had someone very close to me tell me that, you know, it's probably not best and you need to be prepared for if you don't get the reaction you want to have out of it.
That's
right?
wise.
It might not go the way you want.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have to be ready for that because otherwise you can be in a really rough space, obviously. And so I waited and I wrote my thoughts down the best I could in an email. And I, you know, very not humbly, I think it's one of the best things I've ever written. But it wasn't blaming. I made sure to preface that, hey, this isn't in reaction to anything that's happened. It's something that I've wanted to say for a long time, right? And I need to say it for me, and I'm not saying it to blame either of you, right? Because I've learned through this whole thing that you're only responsible for your actions and your responses to it.
I'm curious, how old were you when it happened, and how old were you when you said something?
To my recollection, it probably happened from the ages of like 6 to 12, and it was like a grooming process in a sense, right? And it wasn't. It's very like I coached when I coached lacrosse. They made you take like a sexual predator course, right? Where you're like on the lookout for it, right? Like online, wow. Like, you know, okay, what things should you be looking for as a coach, right? Like,
online. Okay. Yeah.
Of like, hey, what should you be aware of with parents or other coaches or whatnot, right? And it was kind of eye-opening, you know, taking the course. I was like, holy shit, like I was groomed. And it's Garrett, where were you going with that? Just one. Oh, and then I told my parents when I was 24. So
okay, so
basically
you're 25 now?
Last Thanksgiving. Yeah, 25.
And how old was your stepbrother at the time that was happening?
7 years older.
Wow. Yeah, I was probably the same age you were, not as young.
Hmm.
And yeah, same thing. Just you know, love your mom. Like, cause I had a single mom, right? So love your mom, love you. Like you and your mom are the same to me, kind of thing. Like lots of stuff he let me do that I probably shouldn't have been able to do at that age, whatever. And yeah, it's definitely grooming. And the fact that I like I realized it was grooming late. Uh no, maybe the same age that you figured out it was grooming.
Yeah, I mean, so like,
Like,
I guess
uh,
how I kind of, because the brain does this like crazy thing of where you kind of go into like a survival mode of just coping with it, right? And you kind of just bury it and you don't really acknowledge
yeah,
it. Um, it was during around COVID, so it would have been 20 freshman in 2020 in college, got sent home, went in 2021, had our first year, and I was playing lacrosse, and you know, we get back to school and we're under very strict rules. We're told, you can't go party, you can't go hang out with people, you got to wear your mask in class. We're not going to class. We got to wear a mask in the weight room. And it took this thing that, I loved lacrosse and I loved the team and sports and doing that, but we'd finish a practice and then we'd get yelled at for not social distancing and listening to the athletic trainer. And right, we're getting sick, and because we're going out on the weekends and having fun and like enjoying it, right? And that would put a damper on it. And I was very mad at the world. And then went home that summer, and I was worried about, that was when the vaccine was coming out and the university was mandating the vaccine and the army was mandating the vaccine. And it
yep.
was, you're being told to do this. And if you don't do this, you're going to, get kicked out, or you're not a good teammate, or you're not this. And I was like, I didn't know why I was so mad at the world. Right. And I had never been, I didn't think I was a mad person or an unhappy kid or anything like that. But I just like I was just getting super emotional and super angry over it. And I remember I was in the gym one day and I was working out and I was just furious and I didn't know why. And it was a terrible workout. And I called reached out to the athletic trainer, like in tears. And I was like, I want to see the sports psych. Right. I just knew that was a resource that was available. And saw our sports psychologist and started talking to him, and didn't know why it was that, but I just knew it was good to talk to someone about those things. And he was good, and he kept digging and was connecting dots and realized I had some control things. And
I'm curious for both you guys, and I'm interested just because of both your backgrounds and how different that they are. Like for women, for us, we are taught at a very young age, right? Like, hey, don't go out by yourself. Hey, don't take a drink from somebody that you don't know. Hey, like just all these kind of rules that over time we're taught, right? One of them is like, don't dress this way, don't do this thing, don't what. I'm curious if guys, like, if anybody ever talks about it to you, like, is that ever a thing that someone talks about? Like, hey, this could happen to you guys. This is not right. This is wrong. Like, so like as the mother of an 8-year-old, I would tell my 8-year-old at 14, 13, 15, whatever, if your teacher, if an older woman, if like an adult touches you or does anything to you, like, that's wrong. Any adult, that should not happen to you. That like whatever. Do they ever say anything? Like, did you guys ever have anybody tell you like, this shit's wrong? Like, this is not supposed, like, even just the woman thing. Like, you don't even have to go into what Will went through. But like, even just the woman thing. Like, if you're 15 and you sleep with your teacher, like, that's wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think there's definitely the conversation of, right, like, strangers shouldn't, touch you or do these things, right? But like, I think it was like when I say I was groomed, right? I was like compliant in the process, right? It was more so me doing things to myself versus, and me doing things to him, right? That I just didn't know, right?
Yeah.
You didn't see it as that, right? Like you were so
Yeah.
young,
You just did it
you didn't,
because you were told to. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I get it.
Um, like it would be little things, like my laundry would be withheld away. Like I would go away to my mom's house and my clothes would stay at my dad's, and he would take and do my laundry, right? Which, yeah, that's that's really nice, being helpful, right? But then it would withhold it unless I touched myself or something like that, right? Like
Dude,
that's
bro.
that's
Yeah.
that's the shit where it's like, oh, there's the control thing that I have a problem with, right? Of someone telling me to go get a vaccine, right? And why am I so upset about it when I didn't, I get it. Yeah, we got to get the flu shot when you're in the army, right? But now that it's mandated, I instantly have a huge aversion to it.
Yeah.
But anyways, was seeing the counselor, and he kind of kept digging, and eventually he's like, "Hey, we're in a really good spot. Like, I think you got some good tools, but I think there's something else. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is,
No, it's
but
lifelong, bro.
if
You
you
dig
want
through
to,
that
like,
lifelong.
if we want to keep making work, there's something else." And I was like, "Okay." And I showed up the next week and I'd written it down. I just wrote it on a piece of paper, right? Basically what I told you guys, my stepbrother abused me from the ages of 7 to 12,
That's crazy.
and handed it to him. And then the healing started, right? But I think it's taken a long time too, right? Like, cause that was in 22, and then,
It's
grew a lot. Yep.
it's crazy to me. I mean, Dylan, if you want to, did you ever have anybody talk to you about it, or it was just like, no, nothing? You guys don't kind of get
I
any
don't
tools.
think boys get that. Well, they probably, I would hope now, but like, I grew up in, I was born in 94.
Yeah.
And, I had a single mother, and traditional Mexican Catholic families, like in my experience, the way my family operated was like, you don't talk about anything.
Yeah.
Like everything's good.
Yes.
Like everything is always good, especially to outside perception. Like, my sister was a drug addict. She died at 41. And like, if there was a guest in the house, she to my grandpa and how my grandparents like kind of operated, like she was flawless, and they knew, like this guest would know, it's not,
Yeah.
if you have a drug addict family member, like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, and
you can see it, right?
but
It's a visible thing.
Exactly. And then so if anybody had said something about it, it would be shut down immediately. And so I think similarly with raising the kids, like you don't teach. I think they maybe had the thought process of, hey, we're not going to teach them the evils of the world, and we're just going to act like it doesn't exist. And I don't know why that is. It's just maybe culturally or whatever. But and I think having a single mother as well, it was like, don't touch anybody, don't let anybody touch you, go on and play.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? That's about the extent of it. But I grew up with 4 sisters, so they might have gotten a different conversation. I don't know. I was the youngest.
So I pulled this up. Like, I think a big thing I want from this, and like I kind of, even with, when I sent the emails, I wrote it from a place of strength, right? Like this has all come because I've gone through a lot of the healing. I think now more so I've come to the realization that it is an important story to like tell. And I think Colleen said it earlier, but like it's something that's not being told, right, by a lot of people, a lot of men in particular.
That's
right?
That's my point.
We hear the woman side of it a lot, and obviously it's terrible, right? Like it's horrible shit. But men aren't willing to speak up about it. yet alone, right? Like
Because
straight men
we're
don't
scared
really
of the
speak
gay
up
thing,
about it.
dude. We're
Yeah.
scared of the gay thing. That's all it is.
I would
It's
say the
And-
same
us.
thing.
Well,
It's-
I guess there's maybe there are people that, like, how did you feel about implicating him? Was that
Well, hold
weird?
on. Not even the gay. Before you answer that question, Will, and you can answer that question if you want to, but I would say before even the gay thing, it's more of the like, for women, it's viewed as way worse because it's the penetration part, right?
Mhm.
Like, so when you think about men, you don't really think about that part. You just pretend like the penetration part didn't happen, even if it did happen, didn't happen, or whatever. But like you don't think about that with dudes. Like you think dudes can fight each other off or whatever because dudes are just as strong as dudes, right? Like you don't think about that when it comes to dudes and women.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
it's for when you think about it for women, it becomes more of a visceral reaction. Whereas like if you have a young boy, in my mind, looking at my young boy, penetration or not, if you touch him in a way that I don't like or that's not acceptable,
Yeah.
we're gonna fucking have a humongous problem. I don't care how his body reacted to it. Like it shouldn't have had to react to anything.
If you coerce my kid,
Yeah, anything like
Like,
that. So
I might smack the shit out of you if you know what I mean. Like if you manipulate them in any way.
and I get it, and I like it is that thing, right? Like I've talked about it at length with multiple dudes. Like it's the penetration thing. Like most guys, like if you have sex with your teacher when you're 15, you're gonna high five the other guy, right?
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. It's cool. For me as a mom of my 15-year-old boy, I'm not high fiving shit.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
me and
that's
that
stealing
girl are
your
gonna
that's
fuck.
that's stealing your kid's innocence.
I'm gonna fucking fight that woman, and I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
Hey, I think that's said a little bit in jest, and I could be off here.
No, get out.
Oh, damn.
No, I love you. It's fine.
It's like
Well,
I
that.
think the
I don't know.
15-year-old.
Look, hey, it's not even my show. It's Will's show. So if Will allows you, you're allowed.
Will, is it okay if I'm here?
Yeah, you can hang out, but you gotta figure
Turn your
something out with
camera.
where you're gonna be, dude.
Yeah,
I just
turn
turned my camera. It didn't work.
and nope.
Well, stop walking around. You're making me nervous.
I just had to pop in. Is it because I'm black or because I'm walking around?
Because you're
Um,
walking around, not because you're black.
I had to pop in to comment real quick, right? That's famous last words for me, right? On this topic. And all of us are parents except for Will. Think of the times you're in public where you're going, whether that be taking your kid to a sports event, a playground, a party, a birthday party, whatever. And what is like one for me, I'll just say, like I'm asking all these hypotheticals. What are one of the number one things that I see that pisses me off beyond belief is parents that are not present. Now I know you worked all week, you're tired, you want to scroll your phone, blah, 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 blah. But if you aren't present with your kids, someone else will be. If you're not willing to put the phone down, play with your kids, work out with your kids, have fun with your kids, teach your kids things, protect them from harm, all that stuff, someone else is going to do that. And I think we could point at a lot of the things, especially this conversation, right at that fact that parents just, they don't want to be present. They just want to escape all the time. The kids are too stressful and I'm just, I want to blah, blah, blah. Be present with your kids. Will, when you have kids, be present, be there. Love those kids. You know what I'm saying? Raise them. Don't expect someone else to, not the teachers. Not.
Okay, then I would ask Will, and I'll give you the answer before you even give me the answer. My mom was a single mom, same way Dylan was talking about before. And I also think that this is very detrimental, like having kids and being a single mom and bringing a new man into the household is like, that's difficult, right?
Very.
My mom was not present. I was with my grandparents a lot of the time, but not like when I was at home to sleep. And when I was home, my mom really wasn't home until I moved fully in with my grandparents much later. But what would you say your parents were like present, or was it a case where he got you somewhere? Because I could say that my stepfather got me somewhere where there was nobody there to, like, you wouldn't have known probably.
They were present. I think a lot of the issue, and like, for me, it's not worth playing that game of could they have been more present or could they have not have, right? I think there are genuinely evil people on this planet, right? And right, like, I think, you know, I think it's
I'm
not an
there with
excuse,
you.
but I think hurt people, and to assume that, you know, nothing had ever happened to him prior to it happening is kind of
Of course it did.
of course it did, right? And so, you know, for him to replicate it and choose me, right? Like, I guess I don't play that game of, right? Like, I don't blame my mom or dad, right, for it happening. I blame him, and then I blame, you know, I don't blame, right? But like, if I was,
good for you, I do.
smarter or younger, right, I could have and said something sooner, right? Maybe something would have been done earlier. But
no, so you
to kind of,
You're a kid though, man.
You're placing the blame on yourself now.
But-
Yeah, you're a little kid.
well, but wait. So, but also, I think, you know, everything happens for a reason, and I think from this, right, what I've learned in this past year, I've really had to lean in on my faith and go into that. I think, you know, God's allowed me to use this, right, and I'm strong enough now to where I can use this story to help other people. And, you know, when I sent the email, I got a response from my dad. I got a call from him 30 minutes after, right? So he must have read it and called me right away and gave me everything I needed. I'm so sorry, right? All the things, right? All the emotional support I needed. Hey, I'm going to sit and digest with this. When can I call you again? And I'm like, hey, I'm driving back to Indianapolis tomorrow. Like, we can call and talk. And we had a longer conversation, and, you know, say, hey, you can yell at me, whatever you need to do. And I'm like, I don't think it's that, right? And like, just kind of had our conversation, and he said, you know, stepmom called him, and he didn't deny anything. And was like, okay. And I was like, hey, like, you know, I don't expect anything from Michelle now, right? Like, I understand like, I can't imagine what she's going through. You know, presumably she feels bad for me. Presumably also she feels terrible about her son. And essentially, you know, sit and wait on it. Don't hear anything for a couple months. Hey, how are things? Oh, still kind of working through it, whatever. Talking to my dad, and that's fine, and it's all right and good, and still fairly surface level things. And then about 2 months later, about this time last year, I get an email from her, and it's, you know, essentially line by line, bullet point lists of, you know, I came into your life when I was 3, and you already had cold, glossed over eyes, and you were a messed up kid. Obviously the abuse didn't, like, one of the lines was like, obviously the abuse didn't help, but you know, you were already messed up. And just a whole lot of victim blaming and stuff like that. And
wow, yeah,
and,
no,
and
you
I
weren't.
don't, I wouldn't have been ready for it. And I wouldn't have been, you know, you don't say the things, right? The reason you don't say something when you're a kid like that is because you're anticipating someone to call you a liar, right? And, you know, it's your word versus theirs, and that's why you don't say anything. And
but you don't know that as a kid. Did you know that as a kid? I didn't.
I kind of felt like I was always worried that, you know, like, you know,
I was always worried of saying something,
but it would be spewed against me, right?
I was worried of saying something because I like the way that he talked to me, I was going to lose my entire family. Like nobody was going to want to talk to me. So if I talked, everybody was going to be pissed at me and not him.
I was worried about my dad's reaction when when one of his girlfriends was essentially babysitting us while he worked all day. Would lock us in a single bedroom, and we weren't allowed to come out for any other reason than to pee. And like that was the entirety of a summer that he was with her, and he didn't know about it until I told him as an adult, you know. And I was like, I fucking whatever about it, you know. I was joking. I was like, hey, you know about it? Because obviously that's not nearly as severe as anything we're talking about. But I will say, I had me and my sister were thinking like, okay, she's the authority of him, like she's under the authority of him, and so like dad accepts it, and like if we say something to dad, then dad's gonna get mad at us for like blaming her or like saying that she's doing something bad. I guess was kind of the if we felt like we were attacking her, then he would defend her or something. I don't know, like, you know, it's hard to describe, but yeah, just that little semblance. There's all kinds of shit that kids are like, there's not a very rational consideration of like the severity of the thing that you went through absolutely needs to be told no matter what comes about, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it was, you know, you fear, right, that you're going to be a liar and all these things, right? And then it happens, and oh shit, I wasn't a liar, right? But then it didn't matter, right? She just wanted me out of the picture anyways. And you could see that with, you know, the blocking before, right? Like you can play hypotheticals all you want, right? But if, say, alternate universe, Trump loses the 2024 election, right? I show up to the house and tell that story in person, right? And, you know, we have this, what would the response be? I think the response would have been something of the same, right? Same outcome would have happened. It wouldn't have changed anything because that was her intent, right? And I don't think it. Yeah,
I gotta be
honest. I'm stuck. Yeah.
Will, what's your relationship with your old man?
It's been good. Nothing bad ever growing up. Was always pretty good. You know, my parents were divorced.
I mean, post emails.
Yeah. It's been different. I've been trying really hard to, you know, love on him and keep it close. Wow. But it's definitely been different. And
like you just saying, like
I think it's been different on, you know, I definitely feel like it's been more of a me pulling, right, for something, and, you know, not getting the same amount of, like, he's not reaching out as much as he would have or did. I think it's probably because he feels some guilt, but like I don't want him to feel that guilt, right? It's not he's not responsible for any of that. He's just responsible for what he does now.
Yeah.
And I guess
was there a conversation about this email that you received from your stepmom to you and your father? Like, does he approve, disapprove, indifferent? Like,
yeah. I mean, I called him pretty much day after I got the response. It was, you know, it wasn't what I wanted to hear. You know, he's very concerned about, you know, Trump and all the things that come with that, and worried, and he has his concerns, and I understand his concern, but you know,
we're talking about a
your relationship with you,
and an evaluation from your stepmom that somehow it was your fault.
Yeah, what's Trump got to do with it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to pick your brain here. And I'm sorry if I'm putting too much, you know, pressure on you.
No, it's okay.
But like I fucking hate your dad right now. Like my blood is boiling.
Yeah.
Dylan, save some of the pressure for later after the show. We got a busy night. You know what I mean?
Oh, you guys have your show tonight?
No, I'm not
No,
talking
he's
about
saying
the show.
he's gonna.
Oh yeah, you guys are. What were you guys playing?
It's
26
Valentine's
together?
Day. You know, we
Yeah.
got.
I'm 6, baby. See, I'm
I
with
just-
Dylan a little bit here as far as
And I don't want to
I'm
hate your
upset
dad.
with you.
I'm trying to gain more information so I don't.
Right.
To before I jump to that conclusion. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah. Dylan
Yeah.
and I are both dads, and I feel like they're like, you cannot stop everything. Someone said it before. You can't stop everything. I get that. I totally get that.
And your mom.
But you bear a lot of that responsibility as a dad, and if you're not present and you're not watchful and you're allowing people into your life and your kids' lives that aren't properly vetted, I'm just saying, man, there is a hell of a lot of responsibility. That's why the weight is so heavy on parents, not just dads, but moms. The weight's heavy, man, because that child, those children, that's your responsibility. They didn't just show up one day and say, hey, can you parent me? No. Actions were taken. You have kids. Their protection, their safety, their well-being is on you. So if you're not checking in regularly, if you're not present and showing up, having tough conversations, digging in when they don't want to sometimes, man. Like I found out the other day, my oldest has TikTok. She's 13. She doesn't even be on TikTok. So that was a tough conversation. Mom
TikTok
allows
got
it, dad
trashed.
doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's like if I wasn't being present and quote unquote annoying her or bothering her, I wouldn't have known that. And then what could that have led to?
Well, a
So
lot of parents will abdicate that responsibility, that duty of being a parent, you know, for the sake of like, well, I need them to like me.
Yeah.
You know,
A little bit too worried about that and not with the protection and the guidance. And like I was telling someone yesterday, when my kids are older, and every one of us on here that has kids, I hope that we're friends. I really do. I hope that when my kids are 18 and they move on, that they want to kick it with dad. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I'm not so much worried about the friendship thing. I'm worried about the leadership thing and teaching them life lessons and protecting them and things like that, man. We go down a slippery slope when it's like, well, they'll be mad at me, or their friends have a TikTok, so why can't you? I don't care. Their friends' kids aren't my kids. You know what I'm saying? Or their friends aren't my kids. So I hear you, Plumber, and I don't want to hate your dad. No one's trying to hate your dad, but man, and someday I hope you're a dad. I think you'll be a hell of a dad. But you realize, man,
I think
a
the
lot of
thing
this shit falls on you.
The thing that we also don't want to do is hate our parents, right? We don't want to think that our parents knew and didn't do anything, or saw something and didn't do anything. We don't want to think that.
Yeah.
That's not something that we want.
Can I clarify?
Yeah.
I want to be very clear, Plumber. It's not about what happened to you that I give that blood boiling point of view of your dad.
Yeah.
It's the response of the stepmom and how he's going about it or not going about it.
He's stuck in the middle of it, and and you know, yeah.
You're a very gracious man.
Thanks. Well, I give credit to God. I can't take
and
any of that.
that's partly why, because you are doing the godly thing, and you know, I hope one day your dad comes around to realizing that, you know, you worship God, and it seems like his wife worships the synagogue of Satan. So, you know.
And Will, the best thing you can do is when you do become a dad, or if that's in the cards, is you know, a lot of people have had really great role models of a father. I mean, I think, excuse me, like someone like Tom Brady, you hear him talk about his dad, and he's got nothing but awesome things to say and everything like that. But unfortunately, just as many people, maybe more, have really poor experiences, or something like that, right? So the best thing I can give you is when you're a dad, dude, learn, like, take all the things you didn't get or whatever, and just apply it, dude. Like, just take that job as the most serious thing you'll ever do, because it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say like I had, you know, a bad experience with my dad growing up, right? I thought he was a great dad, and is, and I think that's why now.
That's this question, Will.
Yeah,
you want to answer.
Yeah, I think the response of it I don't think he's choosing Michelle. I think he's choosing,
Hmm.
I think he's choosing my half sister, and he's protecting
He's choosing
her.
the path of least
How old is she?
least resistance. It sounds
She's
like.
she's 7 years younger than me.
Okay, understandable.
Yeah,
That's a good assessment. That's a very in-depth
And-
assessment and evaluation.
and he's he doesn't know how to navigate that world. And
Hey,
Mhm.
and you're also an adult on your own. And so he
Yeah.
doesn't know how to navigate what's going on, the confliction between you and your stepmother. But what he
Mhm.
does know is that he has a much stronger priority. It's awful what happened to you, but his priority is his daughter, whom he had with your stepmother. And so now I have a much clearer picture as to what his positioning might be, as to where he can maybe come to some kind of I can let the email go frame of mind. You know what I mean, about my son from my wife, right? Who's not his mother. So now that I know that there's a 14-year-old girl at play,
no,
that's his daughter?
she's 7 years younger than me, right? I'm 25, so 18.
18.
I still have more of a perspective. It does make sense when you put it that way. I go, okay, I got more grace for him for sure.
He's
I wanna-
definitely stuck between a rock and a hard place, but I give you credit, Will, for not being a bitter asshole. You know what I'm saying? You don't say, unless you are behind closed doors, but you seem like a pretty
I mean,
good
this is
dude for,
if this would ever, this would probably be perceived as a bitter asshole move, but that's okay. I think the
No, I've
story's
been way
important
more
enough
Not
bitter-
at all,
I've been
man.
way
where
more bitter than you.
people need to
And you should be able
See
to
it and hear
be and get it out. Your mom, this comment I resonate a lot with too. If the parent is not healed and isn't willing to look at their story, they will not be able to provide optimal love and care that a child needs.
Yeah.
And so I'm taking this statement as like when your parent knows what happens to you and they don't choose you and they're not healing from that is because they don't want to say that they made a bad choice. You know what I mean? They don't want to say that they brought a bad person into the household or a person that would do something like this into the household. And so they're not willing to be like, hey, shit,
Yeah.
this sucks. And
Accountability is hard.
I fucked up and I shouldn't have done this. And like, my mom doubled down. So like there was no,
Yeah.
like, I don't have to infer anything. Like I know she
Yeah.
doubled down. So,
Damn.
okay, I got to deal with that. It's a thing. And yes, your mom, like I absolutely know this. And I don't, now that she's gone, like I don't hold anything. I even before she died, I really was kind of like, I was okay. I don't think she was okay. I think she needed to talk about things still, and just couldn't do it or didn't know how to do it. But like, yeah, I get that. And there's no, you can't make them. There's nothing as the kids, there's nothing we can do to get them to seek accountability if they don't want to, right? Like you
And
can't
there's a
take that on
recognition that
yourself.
generation is a lot different than us. Our generation now is a lot more into, not everybody, but a lot more, it's more popular with the healing and working through traumas and stuff like that. Whereas that generation, our parents' generation, they often, they didn't talk about stuff. They didn't, you know what I'm saying? So like, they don't know how to handle it when we talk through this. Why can't we just ignore it? Why can't we just
That's
do
what
what
Dylan
we've
said
always done?
before.
Yeah.
And like Dylan said, that's what they did. It just,
Yeah.
it was like,
And
hey,
even
okay, we all know what happened, but now we're really not going to talk about it. And
Yeah.
it's not going to come up again. And like, we're just not going to deal with it. So like,
Yeah.
it's cool. And we just all did it. And now I think like you guys are in your 30s, me and Jeremy are in our 40s. And it's like, we kind of are that like,
I ain't
10
in my 30s.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Almost.
I forgot.
You're really a baby, huh?
Yeah, you're a bit, well, fine. Dylan and Jeremy and I are all in, like, and we're willing to not like,
Yeah.
do that anymore, right? Like we're willing to not hold on to that, or we're willing to have the conversations that are like looking at this panel right now and looking at the three of you guys talking about this for me is really uplifting.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want it to be, right?
To
That's what I
see
wanted it to
men
be.
To like
Accomplished.
I've spent half my life not trusting men and thinking men are awful and they're not going to protect you and they're not going to do any of these things.
Mm-hmm.
So to be a part of this and see you guys being able to talk about this and have these conversations for me is so positive.
It's awesome.
Like I'm so proud of this.
But what's
You
wild
guys-
is that Will probably had a similar mindset. Men aren't to be trusted. I know that I dealt with that for a long time too, based on my childhood as well. So it's crazy how different we all may be, or have experiences, but at the same time, very, very much the same. Because I dealt with exactly what you're talking about, based on my childhood as well.
Yeah, I had a stepdad that I talked about this when I was on Sevy's pod, but I had a stepdad that came in and there was a couple of abusive incidences to my mother, and then they divorced, and subsequently she kicked him out, changed the locks. I remember the locksmith coming over, the whole deal. You know what I mean? I wish I could have told her she could have done it with a screwdriver and just a new knob. But like I was like 10 at the time. So, but yeah, that night he kicked in the door and attacked my mom. And I laid there in bed petrified and I couldn't move. I played baseball and I had a baseball bat and all these thoughts were going through my mind, like pick up the bat and go help your mom. And I couldn't move. And it's probably why I'm like, I got to do all this tough guy shit, because I saw my mom be harmed and I'm like, I will never fucking let that happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, contrary to like not having trust in men, I didn't have that. But what I did have is like, hey, if there are men out there like that, I got to be the guy to stop them.
Yeah, you had the
Because I
desire
couldn't
to
do it.
protect. And
Yeah.
do the
Hell
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. And you got to think too, fuck, I might have went in there and hit him with my little T-ball bat or whatever,
Yeah, you could have
little league bat, and he would have killed
grabbed
me.
the bat and beat your
Yeah.
mom with
He'd
it,
have
and then
killed
me. Yeah.
kick the shit out of you, right? Like,
Yeah. There was
I
nothing
mean-
I could do, but I did feel
And then your mom
a lot
would be
of
mad
guilt
at
for a
you.
long time for not.
Yeah, then mom's mad at you.
That's the
Yeah,
other
you see
thing,
that
too.
all the time.
If you go
Matter of fact.
help, I've done that before, and I had that happen to me where my mom was pissed at me when I
Yeah,
went to
Yeah.
help.
I don't
Yep.
even talk to her about that because
That's
frankly,
crazy, bro.
because here's the thing. I don't want to bring up something that happened when she was a parent where she made a foul decision of choosing this guy, and it really erupted in our household very terribly. And what I don't want is to have her to relive that or feel accountable for it.
Mhm.
Because and at the end of the day too, Will, this is not like what happened to you. This happened to her.
Mhm.
And I was just kind of there, and like my own psychological thing was affected like by not being able to defend
Yeah,
her. But
dude,
like,
but it happened to your mom, so it happened to you. That's if you're a kid. If you're a
Yeah,
kid,
yeah.
if it happens to your mother, it happens to you. There's
But-
no.
I guess I just don't want her to feel she's so precious now. She's so
I
like
know, I get it.
perfect
bro.
and wonderful.
I understand it.
I'm like, I don't want you to have to relive something happened 25 or 21 years ago.
You're
Yeah.
fine. You just go handle it by throwing people around in a
Yeah,
UFC
just
ring
go
and
punch
beating
people in the
them.
face.
Like
You'll be
that's
fine.
that's dude shit.
Dylan,
Dude
were
shit.
you?
I get
did
it. Dude shit.
Did you serve at some point? Were you in the army?
Yeah, I was in the cream corn.
The Marine Corps.
The Marine Corps.
You were in the Marine Corps. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Such a-
check, Raj. What'd you do? Were you infantry?
No, I was motor transport. But I was at a recon unit for 5 years, and that was freaking badass.
Oh,
I
that's
did a lot of
cool.
cool shit.
So you worked with some cool guys.
Yeah, for sure. I was on the teams for a little bit. I shouldn't say on the teams. The teams let me in like a freaking Make-A-Wish Foundation where I got to do some
like,
extensive
The
training. with
Marine Force recon teams or like the SEAL teams?
them. Recon.
Nice.
Yeah,
Aaron?
they let me train
No,
with them.
no, pull that down. Someone in the chat vet Aaron Frazier. I need to know if that's real before we're
I
gonna talk
know
about that.
he's in different he's in Savant's chat. So I hope he's
know
not
I've
joking there.
no, I've seen his name, but I'm gonna need that because then there's this. Is this
What do
shared?
you want to? You
Like-
want to see the? You want to see the dead body?
No, but like,
Suck.
bro, really?
That's
Yeah.
that's heavy to bring to
I don't
this.
think
that's-
anybody would joke about that.
I
yeah,
really hope
fair.
not.
Sorry.
I hope not. I'm here for you if you are. If
I
that's
had a
true,
friend in high
but
school that happened to. I mean, granted, he wasn't 3.5.
I'm not saying it doesn't
But-
happen to people and shit doesn't happen, but like you just throw that. Oh, all right. Maybe I'm just okay.
You
fine.
send him a link or what? My goodness.
No,
Wow.
I'm not saying-
But that's good. Like, yeah, I get you, G. You're just like, hey, that's a pretty wild
like,
thing. Let's
that's,
vet you a little bit.
after we've been through this much tonight for an hour and 15 minutes, like
Yeah. But by the way, Will, like you said, to go back to what you said, like, and how G felt about this whole thing, like, it feels uplifting. Like, good for you for sharing it, talking about it, because there's a lot of people it helps, like a lot.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the
Dude,
intent.
that cannot be emphasized enough. I talk about the dad group all the time, and I got guys in there that had some of the more crazy things, kidnapped at 5 by his birth father after mom kicked him out, and they went through. He was beating mom. His dad comes back and kidnaps him with his friends, and like they do all sorts of crazy shit to him. And just one guy's just been through the gambit, and we're not told to talk about this stuff. We don't have. We're told to shut up about it. Men are in general are told to just shut up, dude. Like, who cares? You know, I think there's a time and place for no one cares, work harder. But boy, when you're talking about some trauma like that, having platforms like this or ability like this to just talk, man. Let's talk it out. Let's figure some shit out and then heal, right? That's the name of the game, at least it should
Yeah.
be.
I don't think men are
I
taught
trust
that. I
Aaron.
think
Okay.
that
We're
we're
not.
like fighting through. We're not taught to shut the fuck up. We're not taught to like not share our feelings. What we are taught that it's like a self accountability thing through our manly culture is typically like, don't be a whiny bitch. And it's
Yeah.
like, hey, dude, that doesn't apply to these certain instances, and you should talk about them. And there is a time and a place.
Right.
But no, I don't think we're taught like don't.
Well,
talk
the
about your
whiny
emotions
bitch thing comes in the form of, hey, don't talk about it.
No, that's
Yeah.
as soon as you
our
start
own
talking about
understanding
it,
of what whiny bitch is. So we take
Well,
that and we amplify it of like, I
that's
can't
what I'm
be a
talking
whiny
about.
bitch.
that's
I
so
think-
we're saying the same thing. It just looks a little bit different. It's like as soon as you start talking about it, you are
I'm saying
automatically
the
a whiny little
individual
bitch.
needs to have agency over that and understand that don't be a whiny bitch is important because you got a fucking family to lead, but you need to know and have the discernment of like, hey, I need to talk about this.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
though,
100%. because
like, give me a second. I think when like I've had conversations, besides the sports psych, when I talked to him, I hadn't told really any. I've told maybe like a couple of like my closer like high school friends, right? But I told it more so I gravitated to telling it towards like friends that were girls, right? It would just come up in conversation. It would come easier. But I think now since I've started having it with more men, right? That even, I'm not super close with, right? I've had a conversation, with some people at work, and if it comes
you
up
just met me.
and they need it, right? I just met you, right? I put it out into the world, right? But like, I haven't gotten that yet of like, oh, you're just whining or this or that, right?
Right.
The only
not.
negative I've got was from, someone close to it, right? Who is a
She's
woman
defending her son.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
sticking her heels in the ground. But I think what's important, I don't want what I would say for people, right? And everyone's their own story. But if you hear this and something similar happened, or you feel like the best thing to do is to go burn it down and shout it from the town square before you've gotten and done any of the work yourself and talked to someone about it and figured out, right, and done some of that healing, right? I would not do that for your own health. Right?
Yep.
You got to make
That's
sure
sage
you're in a
advice.
good place first, and you got to work through it and figure out your shit
Uh-huh.
and make, have some conversations with people that you need to. and then
Yeah.
and then you can go out and start telling that story to people, and right, like really,
That's why social
you
media
can't-
can get frustrating because people want to do it in inverse order to what you just said. You nailed it. You need to, in private and secret, whatever, talk about it, figure it out. And then if you want to talk about your healing journey, cool. But people want to
Yeah.
just social media it to death before, or if ever, going and actually getting real help behind closed doors. It's so much
Because
better when you
that's
get a whole
their
bunch of people to
God.
feel bad for you, you know?
yeah.
Because
I
that's
mean-
their God. Social media is their God, and that's where they go to the place to worship, because they'll get a lot of comments and like affirmations and adoration. And it's like you
Yeah.
didn't do anything, any legwork at first with internally with probably professional help or loved ones close to you that you can talk through this and really come to terms with it. Instead, you just go to this oversharing culture that we have to find your own healing when you probably need to open up the Bible and not your Instagram app.
Yeah.
Never has
yeah.
so many people done so little and talked about it in the history of humankind, and then that here's social media.
Gee, what do you got? You're thinking hard there.
Yeah.
Aaron fucked her up, man.
No, dude, he kind of did. Like, that's crazy story. If that's crazy. And if I always believe KDL, so if KDL says like
Mhm.
that should happen, then damn, like that's
That'd be worth like getting on a show and talking about
Bro.
if he was ever open to that, because that's
3.5 years old. Like, that's insane. And to me, that's just another thing that shows that like dudes don't get to talk about
Mhm.
what it is that they go through. And like, as hard as it is for us to do it, like it's just as hard for you guys. It's not any easier at all. People are gonna either not believe you or tell you to suck it up, or everything they tell us.
Gee,
to
what do you
do.
mean? We got white privilege. Come on now.
Yeah, I know. I forgot. Oh, I forgot. Not
back
this
to the
month,
next
bro.
thing G wanted to talk about was white
Black
privilege.
History Month. We're in Black History Month. We don't have. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What do I? Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that shit on Tuesday. I'm not trying to get into that tonight.
Where's your African garb, G? Why aren't you wearing like your African colors, dude? What are you doing?
What? Oh God. Yeah. No. I wear Vindicate.
He's wearing green and white. That's Nigerian colors.
Look,
Yeah,
I got,
touche. That's what it
I
looks
got my
dope on. I
Vindicate
like it.
garb on. Like, that's nuts.
So the only thing I
he's
don't own
such a
from
good
Vindicate
dude.
is a hoodie. It looks like that looks slick. I need to get one of those. I
It's
like
so
it.
fucking comfortable, and it's
Yeah.
so cold right now that I'm just like, oh,
Is it
it's
cold
so-
there?
It's
What-
freezing.
They're in
I
New
mean,
York.
it's way-
You got snow, don't you?
Yeah, we got a lot of snow. Not today, but like it's way warmer today than it's been for the last like week or so.
You're
It's
saying
the weather-
Travis is a good dude, Plum?
Yeah, can I just love on Travis real quick?
Yeah,
Oh,
love
he's
on
a great
Travis.
guy.
So I went to Waza in 2022, scaled men, first CrossFit competition ever, and met Travis there. I think it was 22 or maybe it was 23 when we met, but I was gone I went away to ROTC advanced camp that next summer, and he had sent me like 8 shirts for free, just out of the blue. Sent me a
Wow.
whole bunch of CEO shirts, whole bunch of
Badass.
TD CEO shirts, and I had a little. My mom like sent me a picture of it when I was away, right? And it was like this just showed up, and I got home and I was just like, I had this little care package from him, so
That's sick.
for no reason, right? Like I don't know, because I called into Sevon or did some stuff, right? And like we
That's
talked.
awesome.
We
Yeah,
met
he's a
first
good
once,
judge
and
of
he
character.
sent me like 8
You
free
could see you're a
shirts.
good young man.
Such a good dude.
Yeah,
Like-
he's one of the best for sure.
Yeah.
He is one of the best. Gee, you got warm weather coming, by the way. It's like 50 degrees for the last 2 or 3 days here. So again,
Yeah.
I think it's slowly making its way to you guys on the coast. So it's about to be warm.
Oh God, thank God. I can't even with this.
Answer that question, G.
What question?
Katie, I'll have a
sign up
question
for
for
the.
you.
Oh, Garrett, sign up for. My wife is supposed to sign me up. But you're gonna go head to head with blank scores because I'm probably not gonna do it with a judge. But like, sure.
What do you mean
Like-
she's supposed to sign you up? What's
She
that supposed
takes-
to be?
Okay, because we're in a traditional marriage and all of the shit that entails, she takes care of for me. So when she signs me up, I'll be signed up for the Open.
Right there with you, G.
She
Right
has
there
my
with you.
wallet and my phone. So like,
They make sandwiches for you too. And
yes.
I haven't paid a
Yes.
I thought
bill.
it was like hand sushi rolls.
yeah,
That
There's
too.
hands and sushi involved for sure.
only
but-
when she's behaving, you know.
Oh my God. No. Oh, see. All right. Next Saturday, you guys better be watching on next Saturday because next Saturday is the religious show where we talk about this shit.
Oh,
So
I can't wait.
yeah.
I can't wait.
And don't fucking jump on Jeremy. You're not allowed to be on
Okay.
the show with that
I'm good.
one. Like,
I'm good. I
that's it.
really want to listen. I wasn't even going to jump on here, but I just
Yeah, you
it
can
looked
jump
like
on
so
here.
much
This is
fun.
fine.
You
Yeah,
know.
this is fine. Hey, Aaron, hey, you fucked me up, bro. I am so sorry. Like, if that whole thing is true, I'm sorry. I was having emotions in that moment as the only female on the panel. My bad. But if that really happened to you, bro, like, that's
Yeah.
wild. And I really hope we get some 70s weather shortly. That'd be amazing.
Hey, I don't like that everyone hates on Pat.
Pat needs
know,
to be there,
I-
KDL. What do you
I
think?
haven't interacted with Pat other than the shows here.
There you go.
Like,
That
and then
you
I've
just said it, Will.
listened. I've just listened to, Sevy and his squabbles back and forth, or Taylor and his squabbles back and forth. But Pat's just, I think he's misunderstood. And
No,
he doesn't know how to
I
articulate.
tried to
No.
do this the other
words
day,
sometimes.
Will. They
I
shut
thought
me down
so
on
too.
it.
It's not. It's,
But also, him and Brianna saying they're like libertarians is kind of
Wild.
comical, isn't it?
It's wild.
It's a little
Well,
bit crazy.
comical.
We have our show again on Tuesday. We had a break.
Yeah.
We had a break week. Pat went to Aruba. He's probably all sunny and whatever. And
Oh, he's gonna be so red.
He's gonna
be
come
so
back.
red.
He's gonna look like Taylor after a workout.
Black History Month. He'll be
He's
in
gonna
there.
it's
Like,
gonna
look
be
at
like
my
Dylan's
pigment. Look
hat
at my
and shirt.
pigment.
Will, I thought the same thing, man. I was like, oh, he's kind of misunderstood. He's blah, blah, blah. But man, if you get on a show with him or you get in a chat with him, it's head scratching. You're like, wait. Oh, you really are like this. Okay. And then you just got to kind of try to navigate the game with him as best as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
I just always figured he was just limited by the chat. And
Gee,
but
Yes, sir.
could we finish on a kind of a happy silly note? Could we go to Sam P. Kearns?
We're
Did I-
on the
Go to
Pat
what?
Oh,
note.
sorry,
Pat
we're on a
is
happy
a
note.
happy,
Sorry,
silly
sorry.
note.
Well,
Okay,
Pat
sorry.
Lang's maybe not a happy note for Jeremy,
Oh.
so we want to even it out.
Not the worst.
What is okay? Hold on.
Who are you talking about? Who? Perkins?
You'll know who he is. If you don't know who he is, you're gonna freaking love him. This is
All right, here we go.
an Army National Guard's finest soldier.
All right, I got it. This is and I take this is all Will.
this
right
the
now.
one you just sent to us, Will?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And then just click on his profile for us, please.
What?
am I watch?
Just click on his profile. You guys need
You
to
sent
see who
it
this
to
is.
us?
Yes,
That's
I
why I
must
said
have
Army
missed it.
Strong. I responded with Army Strong.
that is PFC Sam Kearns, in the Army National Guard. His whole shtick is just who he is. You can.
Is that a bit? or is
I
it-
know it's not a bit. That's the thing.
Okay.
He's got like he's gotten moved out of units. Yeah, this is him.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Damn, that's tough.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's tough.
I don't. It.
What's
man.
his deal? I still don't get it. What's his deal? What is he?
his
Is he special?
no
Special
dude. He's not. His recruiter got him in. He's ready to go, bro.
Okay, I get it.
Every unit ever has a Gomer pile.
Just
And
listen to him. Just listen to him talk. That's what we need to listen to.
Man, are you gonna get this channel is not big enough to support? Is this gonna be bad? Oh man.
Oh, Specialist Kearns here. And do you know what division the 30th Brigade Armored Combat Team's in? All right, so if you didn't already know, I'm in the 30th Brigade Armored Combat Team, the most lethal brigade in North Carolina Army National Guard.
Is that true?
Oh boy.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Wow.
In North Carolina, sure.
Just
It
listen
is
to
to
him.
him.
This is Sam.
So, if you're in the North Carolina Army National Guard, and if you're in the Combat West, most likely you're in the 30th Brigade Armored Combat Team. Because we have the only infantry units in the state, we have the majority, well, we have all the armor in the state, and we have a small contingency of engineers. We have an engineering battalion made up of 2 engineer companies. Now, I don't know.
Just stop.
Okay,
This
my
is
man's
getting
good. He's
painful.
good.
This
He's
is getting
good.
painful. Oh
My
my
man,
God.
look, my man's trying.
This
Stop it.
is when that reminds me of when I was
serving his
in,
country.
like when we were
everyone
in,
knows.
Garrett, like they took anybody and everybody, right? Because we had a war to fight. It's surprising that they're still taking, it seems like, everybody and anybody.
Damn, guys. Damn.
Whoa.
Colton, if he never found CrossFit, is crazy.
Who said? Where's that?
Colton,
oh, damn.
Oh, poor Colton.
Wow.
Colton in the Iowa National Guard would go so hard.
Could you imagine that?
I would have been friends with Colton if he went to basic at the same time.
He would have hated everybody. Colton would have. If he was in a shit unit, he would hate everybody.
Yeah, but he would have been a sleeper, dude. Like those are always the people that I would end up with. It's like you just like had like they realized what it was, and it was, you know, they could have fun with it, with the suck, and that pause.
There you go. Now you got it. Now you
Dude,
got it.
I had a guy in basic training from Idaho, last name Zamora, and
airing it out.
When I say this kid was special, I honestly, you know, when you see somebody around something, you just feel bad for them. Like, I know someone's gonna say something like, that's what people around you feel, Jim. But like, I straight up, like, man, that was the first time in my life that I saw a micro penis. And that's something you can't unsee, man. Like, when you see that, and he was like 6'2", 250 pounds, big guy, and I'm talking like micro. And people would routinely beat the shit out of him.
You also have to remember, dude, you got a different pigment skin, right? So your version of micro, you know, come on now.
I'm flattered, but bro, I'm talking like thumble size. Like that thing was.
Oh God. Maybe he's Oh, Gus, what's up, dude?
Man.
All right. Good
Everybody's
times.
got one of those. Every unit's got one of those. We had a guy we called Hey, you know, like the little rooster from Moana.
Yes.
Oh my God.
He was a redhead, and his last name was Russo, and we just fucked with him. He was a good dude, you know, but when you're day-to-day like operations in the military and you're a fucking idiot, like, it's frustrating, and then so you just get picked on, but you're loved on as well. That should be. It's
government work, dude. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's government work.
We got your back, but we're gonna give you shit.
Maybe not at Marine Force Recon.
Well, he was a rigger, so he didn't have a lot of grace. I mean, like you're packing parachutes, like you're gonna get ripped apart, like to be not a freaking.
That's so tough, dude.
No, my favorite like cartoon animal is that one dumb seal from Finding Dory, the seal that's on that, like all he wants to do is get on the rock, right? Yep. And then he finally gets on the rock, and that's my favorite one.
Just turns into Taylor when he gets on the rock.
Oh, that's funny.
Y'all are.
Hey, you guys want to watch a funny back and forth in the CrossFit world? And maybe you've seen it, but I think it just came out yesterday. It's Austin Hatfield and Rich. They're doing. I think it was the toe to bar double under clean open workout. Dan Bailey did in the garage. I think we repeated it one time since. Well, they took when Rich did it in 2019 and put it to Austin doing it right to like modern times. But they're both sitting there like semi roasting each other. It's on the Mayhem channel. Highly recommend. That was my favorite video I watched yesterday.
Was that the one Dan Bailey won, but then subsequently?
That's the one.
Yeah, fuck, that would suck.
That's the
'Cause he
one.
missed,
They miscounted something. The cleans
Dude.
or something.
Speaking about, all right, I'm gonna air Pat Lang out real quick. I saw him in a comment section. Someone was like posted about how they beat like this semifinals athlete like beat Matt Fraser's time on a workout in 2018, and Pat was like, "That's like comparing yourself to beating Michael Jordan or whatever, like something like that." Like he was like saying, "Big whoop," right? I'm like, Pat,
There
if
you
you
go.
ever fucking came close to beating Matt Fraser's time, like you would be through the roof.
Absolutely.
It, right?
We've all
like
yeah,
it was something like that where I was like, dude, come on now. Let this person have a moment in the sun.
That is an internet warrior, man.
He looks like he's having fun in Aruba though. Good for him.
Oh, Pat, go. Pats, go to. That's an isolated. It's damn. Okay. Anyway, this is all you guys. If you want to, did you talk about? Did you guys see the Killing the Fat Man that CrossFit did? The series?
No, that's cool.
Yeah,
It
this
was
newest
very
one. The obese.
Yeah.
I'm done being obese or whatever.
I'm done being
Yeah.
obese. Yeah.
Boy, is that powerful, man.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Emotional.
Why am I
Yeah,
so-
when you see someone like that, and you have someone like that in your, either you were that person, you have someone like that in your life, and you see that change, man. I think he's a year in, and he's lost 100 pounds. Like just his emotional conversation at start, man. I'm like, dude, that if that doesn't show you that CrossFit is for everybody, for anybody. I don't know what will, man. Like if he can do it, why can't anybody can do it, Guys,
No, it's
450 pounds. Come on.
I'm working on it. Yeah, there's some special projects right now that I'm working on with people that, 300 pounds plus, that if you can take 100 pounds off of them, right? Like I've been able to help one person do that, and I give credit to them, right? Because they're the ones that make the hard dietary changes. But like that's the shit where you should hang your hat on at the end of the day as a coach. Versus
Hey, are
like,
you Will Ascend?
What?
Training program?
Will
What'd you have?
Ascend?
Yeah. Are
No.
you Will Ascend?
That's
Training
me.
program? Oh, is that you? Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's mine.
I thought it was Plumber at first, just because it was like Will Ascend.
Train Sentinel.
I ripped Will off. I took it no. Williams, last name Williams, so Willis.
You voodoo
No,
Jeremy.
and I think what happened? What is
Nothing. I'm bored. I've never been.
Jeremy, are you
not
cross-eyed, bro?
like I'm just playing with the. Now I'm trying to figure out what StreamYard does. So, it's fine.
What'd you ask, Will?
Go ahead,
Are
sorry.
you cross-eyed a little bit?
No, he's four-eyed.
Am I cross-eyed? Do I look cross-eyed to you?
I don't know. I've been getting some weird looks, bro. No, you're
It's
good.
probably like the reflection in my
Yeah.
glasses.
If I do,
I don't know.
I don't think I'm cross-eyed. Oh, did she remove me?
no, can I?
She's playing with all
I'm
the tools.
playing with it to see what
What?
if I
Stop.
oh,
Pause.
I
if
brought
I
him
do
back.
that.
She's
and
playing
then
with
do
it.
this.
Oh, you're trying to switch
Oh.
the order up. Oh shit.
Bam!
G's done. G's taking a break.
She's
like,
bored
"See
by
ya."
the guy.
I'm letting the
She's gotta
men
go
do the
pee-pee.
thing.
She's
Take
gotta
over.
use
You
the
guys are
bathroom.
in charge.
Will,
Yeah.
you'd agree that needs to be featured more. It's been talked about so many of these CrossFit things, what they're not doing,
Yeah.
what they're whatever. Why? It's not a budget thing, right? It's why, if you had to guess, if you had to put a reason to it, why isn't CrossFit doing that more? I have this wild theory in my head, but I want to hear, like, why isn't CrossFit doing that more?
I can't speak to I don't know what goes on day-to-day decisions there. And I don't think it's, but I think when you look at like, CrossFit, ultimately now there is a corporation side of it, right? It's not what it was when Greg owned it, in the sense of there was a sole owner, and he hired a bunch of employees and put them in positions of power, and they executed the way they wanted to, right? Like Sevik always compares it to Hell's Angels, right? Like it was Hell's Angel. They thought it was Harley Davidson's, but they really bought the Hell's Angels. And I think probably when you look at something like CrossFit, how it used to be a media company, and they just pump media into the space that like, this is going to be cool and good. Right now it's switched from media to there's a marketing department. And
Yeah.
when there's a
This
marketing
isn't true,
department,
by the way.
when there's a marketing department, you know, there's people are going to be pulling in different ways, and they're going to have, you know, this is what the next pitch is showing, and this is what we need to do based off of market research, and we need to go here. And I think, you know, one of the biggest, most dangerous
company
things
that was
is,
against corporate culture is kind of embracing corporate culture.
yeah, I think so.
In a
I think it's necessary to an extent, but also if left unadulterated, right, it can lead to things like a couple of years ago, I think under one of the old regimes, there was, I don't know if you guys remember this, but leading up to the Open, there was the Bitmoji things, right? It was like burn it down Sally or send it Sally and nervous Betty and all these like emoji type things that they were posting for the Open, like which one's yours? And it was the little like flame thing or the dumbbell, the green animated dumbbell. And they're trying to be artsy and cutesy and shit. And I'm like, guys, we have I was commenting, like, we have the cure to the world's most vexing problem, and we're posting this shit, right? Like, it was nuts, right? Like, from Forging Elite Fitness to Send It Sally, like, I was sent, right? And I was like, what's going on, right? Like, we need to be telling either the tip of the spear stories or, right, our, you know, and not saying this in the bad way, but, you know, the last people you'd think that would be doing CrossFit, right? You need to tell those two stories. And the people in the middle are going to figure it out that, oh, it's probably all right for me, right? If, you know, my grandma can do it, right? But also it makes these freaks of nature, right? Then, oh, I guess I could probably fit in there too, right? And have something to gain from it. Because, like, what I look at, I don't know, like the marketing side, it needs to be told more of these stories of, right, the killing obese or killing the fat man stories, or stories that are like it, are really important. But the sports side of it, right, and how I look at the sports side at CrossFit is it is the ultimate retention tool, right? When I was in, this is very rarely, I'm going to give a shout out.
Love it or hate it, that's true.
When I was in exercise science, we took a exercise science business class, right? And it's the business of it. And one of the things they talked about was, you know, what's really good for retention in big Globo box gyms, right? Or big Globo gyms or whatever, is the programs that you have, right? Because programs keep people involved and interested in what's going on. And CrossFit has essentially, the sport is its own retention program that's built into the methodology every year with the Open, right? And it's a data point where people are going to come back, and if they do it once and they sign up and they put their name on the leaderboard, there's that accountability piece that they want to come back the next year and do it again. And hey, they want to go sign up for a competition, and that's retention, right? Whereas if we just look at it of, oh, the sport needs to be more professionalized in a sport and no longer as a retention tool, like, no one wants to watch thrusters and burpees besides people that do thrusters and burpees.
But they do want to see people who are 450 pounds, older. Hell, even the adaptive, and some of them not so severely adapted. Maybe like, you know, I've had an injury and it limits me. They want to see those people.
Yes.
Thriving in a CrossFit gym, not just going and doing the workouts, but like thriving in the CrossFit gym, being a part of the community. They need to see that. So again, why don't we see it more? And my wild theory is, who was the one that brought us most of that back in the day?
Greg?
Persona non grata, as Tommy Marquez likes to call him, Sevan, right? You had better believe there is still a vendetta between people at HQ and Sevan. Why would we do what he does? He's toxic. He's bad. He's this. He's that. We're going to try some other way, and we're going to do a lot of what you're saying, Will. We're going to market differently. We're going to try all these things. And all these things might work at other companies. They might work here and there, but like you said, they bought they bought Harley Davidson, or whatever the saying goes. They bought the Hells Angels thinking it was Harley Davidson. This isn't a normal, typical company. We're anti-corporate culture. We're different, man. We're different. And how we did it, everyone's like, oh, you just want to go back in the day and you want to relive the glory years. Not really. I just want to take the things that worked then and do them again so that we can see the boom that we saw between the years of like 2012 to 2018. There were certain ways they did things. They featured the obese, they featured the older person. They did there was all the documentaries, all these things paired with awesome behind the scenes coverage, features of very fit athletes, the fittest in the world. But they were also, and I believe they were talking about this somewhere the other day, about how those guys, they were talking about Kyle Kasperbauer. He's still coaching people at a gym. He's still in a gym. You know
what? It wasn't a fucking career for him. The games wasn't a career. It was a pathway for him to grow his own brand, but his brand was coaching and his fitness and his ability to get people in the gym, right? And they're like, oh, there's a games athlete. I want to go to this gym. And we see that nowadays, right? But ultimately, there has to be a coach there that cares about him and, builds people up. Otherwise, they're going to leave, right? So, like, my point of the retention tool and why the CrossFit sport is so powerful is you see all these other things now trying to come up with their version of it, right? You have the Lifetime Fitness Games, you have the Athlex, you have the Burn Boot Camp Games, right? You have DECA, but all these things don't stick, right? Because it's not ingrained in their community and they're not logging their score on the whiteboard after every workout, right? Like that part of the measurable, repeatable, observable, that's in the methodology. Right. And that's why the sport works and makes sense for the gyms that do that. Yeah. Right. And
instead of us doing what we do and standing out and sticking out, we are trying to fit in. We changed our whole website to make it look very similar to F45 and things like that. No, we don't need to do that. We've never done that, and we've been very successful not doing that. So anyways, hi, Colleen.
Hi.
Yes, she does, G.
No, I was just gonna go back to kind of what Jeremy was saying. I understand what you're saying with this, like, call it like anti-Sev movement that kind of happened or whatever. I also think that you're not putting more accountability on CrossFit affiliates. Like this guy, my understanding is that this guy posted something on Instagram one day and then all of a sudden he was picked up and now CrossFit's paying attention. You know what I mean? Like people can put themselves in position to reach the everyday person, not just the sport. And I think that if affiliates really wanted to get more eyes on them, then it does take more responsibility to that affiliate to continue to put stuff out, share, you know what I mean? Where in hopes, I'm not saying that CrossFit's not part of it, because obviously the reason that this man is getting as much views or whatever in CrossFit is because CrossFit has taken this story on and is now producing this story, which I think is fantastic. But how many times on TikTok do things just go viral just because of what that individual person is doing? You know what I mean? So like, I get what you're saying with like Sev was the one that did a lot of it. Yes. And we're also in a position now where we all have technology and we all make these catchy videos. You know what I mean? How many gyms do you see that make all these catchy videos of the muscle ups and the PR snatches and the Fran times and all of those, like Will's saying, like those extreme next level, like games aspiration kind of stuff, but they don't take the time to get the grandma that is, why is Will so short? At one point, you guys looked like a hand. It was like Jeremy was super tall in the middle, and then everybody was a little bit
yeah, we look like AT&T bar right now.
I bet Will is the tallest of us besides maybe the ladies. How tall are you, Will?
I'm like 6'1".
You're the tallest.
Yeah,
You're taller
he
than
is the
G.
tallest
You're
of
taller
them.
than G.
Whatever, Will.
I mean, I'm
I'll fuck you
6'5".
up, right?
Dylan, how tall are you?
5'9" as
5'5".
fuck.
Damn.
Yeah, right.
Joseph was trying to say he was tall the other day on a show, and I was
He's
like,
not.
bro.
No, he's Mexican. He's not tall.
He's the tallest in his family.
Uh,
No, yeah, Colleen. So, like, 100%. Affiliates in a lot of ways can be doing a better job in a lot of things. But let me ask this. Remember was that a year ago? The affiliate contest? Send in your videos. Who
Yep.
did that?
No, Steph did. And I'm not discrediting what he's done. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that as much as he has reach with people, he also doesn't have reach with other people. Other people just simply choose not to support him, follow him. It doesn't matter if he's doing good or he's not doing good, or he's saying this or he's acting this way or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Some people have just decided that they're anti-Sev, that he doesn't, that they don't want to watch anything. So as wonderful as the things that he's doing, to your point with the affiliates, that's fantastic. But his people are going to see that. How many new people is he going to reach necessarily? You know what I mean?
I do think that, you know, the tone from HQ has been significantly different, like forward facing, from like what I've been used to of like when I kind of got into it, right? Like I would say post Greg up until honestly the 2024 games, right, was one tone that all kind of felt the same, and it looked and felt like they were trying to go to the more corporate way and accessibility. But after the 24 and kind of leading up to after last year's open, right, like we saw Fuck the Quick Fix, right, we saw Forging Elite Fitness come back, right, we've seen, you know, since the games, we've seen the impromptu lives, which you could critique or not, right? But it feels like the old days, the Open's the biggest it's been. Jenna Haka is accessible, and she's out there, and
She's so cool.
She responds
we met her at
to
the
the
games.
DMs. Yeah,
She's
I mean,
cool.
I met her at the game. I don't even know if I met her at the games briefly, but I sent her a DM, and I was like, hey, you know, I think it would be really awesome if you could, because I wasn't able to tag CrossFit for like 3 years in stories, right? Like if I posted a workout, like I'd try to at Train Sentinel, at whatever, at CrossFit. And it said, you can't tag. And I'm like, why can't I tag this? And then I saw other people were able to tag, and I hit her up. She's like, oh, you must have been blocked by someone in the old regime for whatever reason. I'm like, what could I have possibly done?
Will, you made it, dog.
What could I have possibly done to get blocked by
Rebel Will?
You know, CrossFit, Danielle Brandon, and Laura Horvath. Right? Like,
Danielle blocked everybody, to be fair.
And so
she needs to block
you know,
herself.
she unblocked me, and so now I can tag CrossFit, right? Like
that's wild.
It's having someone that's, you know, accessible. And, you know, Jenna's new to CrossFit too. I think she's pretty much started when she got the job, and she's like all about it, right? She's drinking the Kool-Aid, she's doing the thing, and I think she gets it, and she's still kind of getting her feet underneath her. But I think it's definitely going in the right direction. You know, we can sit and work.
Leadership. Yeah, I agree.
We could sit and argue that, right? But like, ultimately, there's a board that's in control, right? And they're going to decide who's there right now. And it's like, I think what you learn from it is it's, you know, would it be better for CrossFit to have, you know, a super strong CEO if you wanted that? Yeah, right. If you think someone's better than Don, that would be great, right? But ultimately, in the absence of leadership, leaders lead. And I think we're seeing that a lot right now with Dave. I think we're seeing it a lot with, you know, some of the younger people in the company. And I say younger, but they're OGs, right? You got James, you got Denise Thomas,
their podcasts,
you know, that are vocal, that are out there every week.
Yeah,
they're on podcasts.
Those podcasts are really good.
Denise is huge in the education side, and James is, you know,
they're the ones keeping it afloat. And this is what's trippy about it is like I'm fortunately, and maybe they'll catch wind of this. I don't care, but I'm at an affiliate where the owners show up maybe once a month, they're non-existent. You know, the reason it stays afloat, it's the coaches, it's the members. That can only last for so long. We all know that, right? It can't go like that. Poor leadership, lack of leadership will manifest in crazy ways, and we've seen it happen before, and the whole thing falls apart. How long can this community that is just the ultimate community, how long can it survive with the likes of Don Fall at the helm?
But we say that, right? Like we don't really know what Don's doing, right? And
that's a problem, don't you think?
But I think it's more so like I mean I went to the Mayhem Hero Games, right? Everyday Hero Games, a one-off, right, thing. Mm-hmm. And Don was there. Don hopped in on a community workout, right? He did DT with us. Boz was there, right? They don't broadcast it, which, you know, maybe that could be the feedback, right? Is, hey, we just want to see him at these places, right? Because he could be going to all these things, right? That they're just not putting it on camera, right? Like he doesn't have the bravado that Greg had. Right?
That was going to be my question, Jerem. Do you want Don to be Greg? Because he's not. No. And he never will be. And I think
no one can ever be that.
I think that when you are spoiled with somebody as articulate, charismatic, like personable, invested, passionate as Greg, and then he's not there anymore, and the way that he left, you know, the company and left the community and whatever, whether you agree with it, don't agree with it, liked what he's, or like didn't think it was a big deal, thought it was a big deal, believe he should have been fired, whatever, like his removal changed the entirety of the community. And what I hear you guys saying is you want somebody like Greg. That's great, but you'll never get Greg. Like Don will never be Greg. And to Will's point, it doesn't matter if he shows up to this event or he shows up to that event. Maybe it's not he's obviously at the big events because that's his position. But him showing up to smaller events, like this one event that Will went to, is a huge thing that he doesn't have to do. Him showing up to these little ones to show his face and interact with the community, I think is what being a CEO looks like. It's just he's not Greg.
I 100% will say I don't expect him or anyone. There can never be another Greg Glassman. He's one of the most unique human beings ever. There will never be that. There can be a form of that. Great leaders in the past have taken on characteristics of their former leaders if they were really good. So a current leader doesn't have to be as charismatic or fighting against Big Soda as hard, but there should still be that fight. There should still be the core CrossFit message that we are definitely exercise and fitness company, but we're a nutrition company, and we are against the big names and the big sodas and stuff. Like there has to be somebody that's willing, like even Dave. You know what I mean? Someone just said it in the chat. Dave, he's not Greg, he's Dave, but he's still a leader. Don doesn't show leadership qualities. Just showing up to certain events because you're the CEO. You're getting paid to be there. Your airfare is getting paid for. Your hotel's getting paid for. That's not an inconvenience. Yeah, you put me at the helm of any company like CrossFit, and I get to travel for free and work out with people and talk to a few people. That's not what a leader does. That's what somebody who's just in a CEO position does.
Okay, here's the thing. CrossFit is swallowed by the Leviathan of corporatocracy, and it ain't coming back. Okay, it's never going to be Greg Glassman again.
Don't break my heart like
this.
It's
going to be what it was and how it was built, and Greg set a precedent by fighting with litigation and protecting the affiliates against all the bullshit organizations that were saying you need a license for this, and Coca-Cola's trying to attack them, you know, Big Soda and Big what's that, NSCA and all that
NSCA,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, like he set
ACSN.
that precedent by fighting for what you need to know your focus needs to be on as a CrossFit athlete and an understanding of the methodology. There was a guy a long time ago who was the leader in Christianity, and he was slaughtered. And the only thing that survived it was his disciples, because he breathed the Holy Spirit into them, and they carried on his exact message that holds
The
forth
religious
today.
show is next
So,
week, Dylan. What are you doing?
I'm saying that you as affiliates, as CrossFit members, need to be disciples of Greg and his teachings, because the corporate life ain't going to do it for you. They're not going to fight for you. They're not going to. So what you need to do is do the free
I
market
think
thing,
Greg
like
would've-
Colleen was saying, open more affiliates and fight with your wallet and don't buy Coke and shit like that.
Greg would tell it.
Mhm.
Greg's told us that too, right? Like it was never supposed to be. CrossFit was never supposed to exist, right? There was never, like, it was Greg's gym. and
Same,
then,
Aaron. Same.
You know,
I had to like replay that again. What he said. Sorry. Well, go ahead.
Sorry.
and
Dylan
then
with all his
you
big
know,
words.
someone hit him up
Sorry.
and was like, "Hey, I want to call my gym, right? Like CrossFit, whatever, right?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I guess you could pay me $500 a year for the name, and we can do this thing, and you can come down and hang out and throw down, right?" Like it all happened so organically. And his big thing was it's an open source model, right? And you can run your gym the way you want. All you're really paying for is, you know, the name. And then as it grew, right, Greg being who Greg was, he led that fight. And, you know, it would be awesome if we had that same message coming from HQ explicitly, right, going after Coca-Cola and, you know, these big names and the drug companies and all that. But they have to be a little bit more tactical about it and tactful in the way that they're operating now. And like, to think for a second that Dave doesn't hate what's happening with Coke,
Damn,
right? And all that bullshit in the fight, right? Dave wouldn't be doing it anymore if he didn't still believe in, you know, if it was just the games for Dave, I don't think he would be doing it anymore. Right? It's not.
Right,
You see
because
him.
Dave was riding this wave with Greg, and I think that when Greg left and everybody else stepped in to take over it, very much to what Dylan is saying, it's a corporation now. So expecting that, like, do you think that Don was hired to take every single flag that Greg decided to plant, or every fight that Greg decided to be a part of? Like, do you think that they handed all of those flags to Don and said, now it's your turn? Or do you think that Don was literally hired to just be the CEO? And Greg's methodology and all of the history that Greg has given us, like Dylan said, and like Will said, Greg has given us everything. Look at all of these things. The research will continue. The fight will continue, whether it's Greg himself, whether it's, you know, other people that have been fighting that fight with him. Now you have the CrossFit Medical Society. They're starting to take up more of that part of CrossFit. I feel like Greg's hands literally were in everything. And then when Greg was removed, single people had to fill those shoes.
I think he
Go ahead.
Mhm.
I think he would have, like, I think if Floyd 19 never would have happened and Greg would have stayed on, I think he probably still would have been chilling right now, right? Like he had money already, right? Yeah, he made a lot more money when he sold the company, but like he would have already moved into this like pseudo retirement stage where he's in the back seat and someone else is driving the boat, right?
What
Like,
are you basing that on? Because as soon as his
Because
non-compete
he's-
was up, he went immediately into Broken Science and started
Yeah,
working with Emily Kaplan and Metfix and everything. I mean, he
but
went
do you think
immediately.
But I don't know.
He
We
can't
don't know
stop.
We don't know if he went and said, "Hey, we need to do this," or Emily was like, "Hey, you need to do this," right? If she's the driving
that's true, but he
force.
could have said no. Greg
No,
is not going to stop.
He has said that is the thing that is
That's his
piques
fight.
his interest. Yeah,
That's his
it's-
fight.
He did the
That-
CrossFit
yeah.
thing. I agree with Plummer. Like he would have been doing the Broken Science thing anyhow.
we
He'd have been
started
kicking
to
his
see
feet
it.
up.
We
Yeah.
started to see that when he started to take things away from the games and he started to make those big changes before he left.
It was a
He was-
non-compete, KDL, by the way. Sorry.
He was already starting
Yeah,
to
you're good.
shift his focus. Like he was already deciding to move differently. So I think for him, the creation of CrossFit and the fight for Greg was always different. I think when they developed the games, it was something that was really cool. And then they skyrocketed. It became what it was. But then it got to a point where even Greg was like, he
Yeah.
fired everybody.
He hated
was
it.
like, he was like, fuck all of you. I don't like, we don't need any of this shit. And then
Mhm.
he tried to go back to the health part. And then what happened when he tried to change the focus back to the health part? Everybody in the sport was like, what the fuck is he doing?
Mhm.
Because they wanted him to be more focused on the games because we are all such huge fans of the games. But I think Greg's actual fight will always be against all these big companies and giving the information. And he still does that when he talks with Sev every week. He
Mhm.
still is feeding the information. If you choose to listen to it and be a part of it, you're still learning all of those things and fighting that fight with him. If you're
We-
not, that's okay too.
We probably get more of him now on a weekly basis than we
Yeah.
did when he was the CEO at the peak.
Yeah.
Right? Like think about it. Like
And
2
who's
to
responsible for
3
that again?
hours.
I'm just totally
Man.
ass kicking Greg and Savon today. I guess that's my MO today. Is the
You're
kids
kicking
they're happy.
It's Valentine's Day.
Did
Yeah.
G need a break, Colleen? And she tapped you in. She's like, "Come handle these fools."
Yeah.
She's like,
It's
she's
funny.
like, we're
I
all-
probably should have came and hung out with you guys, for the other conversation, but
"No, that's
I was like,
cool.
I'll come say hi.
yeah,
So
good.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did.
yeah, this is fun, guys.
Yeah. 2 hours. This is
2
awesome.
hours.
Did you guys work out
Anything
yet today?
Who else?
Did
Who
I
worked-
work? Yeah.
You did.
Mhm.
Sentinel's been pretty crazy these days. Joseph's
What-
been tagging all of us in his Sentinel training workouts. So
I know, dude.
Joseph's
He's
got-
my
he's
like.
becoming an Instagram influencer lately.
yeah,
Well, he's got some crazy hotel workouts. Like the shit he does on his own.
isn't
where
that
it's like-
Sentinel?
No, well, sometimes when it's his 100 drag rope and like burpees,
Over the
like
drag
the
rope?
daily ones over the drag rope every day. No, that's not Sentinel every day. That's his extra credit. But
Meg,
He's got
Gary took
problems.
away the number. So call HR. Have a conversation with her.
but no, he's a savage.
He's insane. My favorite, I tell him all the time, my favorite outfit is when he wears the red top and the red leggings and the gray
Yep.
fucking shorts.
And the shorts.
But they're light gray. It's like back when you used to put your ass all over
You miss it?
Instagram, Jeremy. No,
You missed it?
I don't.
I can do it again.
No, but don't. You're supposed to send
Did
those
you-
pictures and videos to Dylan, not me.
He gets the real thing. He gets the real
Oh,
thing. As soon as
God.
the show's
Poor
over.
Dylan. Poor Dylan.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, the
That's
dumpers.
hilarious.
The dumpers. All
I'm
right,
gonna
guys. Well, I'm gonna jet out of here. So,
Yeah.
am I closing this shit down, or are you guys gonna hang out some more?
I'm gonna work out. So we'll call it a
yeah.
day.
I'm
All
calling
right,
it.
guys. All right, guys. This was fun. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Like and subscribe. Every like and subscribe really, really helps the channel. Appreciate you guys being a part of this channel and hanging out and having fun. Thank you to the chat. Dick Butter, we saw you for the first time in a long time. So thanks for coming to
Yeah.
hang out. Hold on. You gonna come say goodbye? Okay. She's gonna come say goodbye real quick.
Oh,
Is that G? Love you, G.
Yeah.
Go to
Yeah.
Vindicate,
Sorry.
buy stuff.
Vindicate
I
by
drove you
stuff.
away.
Primal Mobility. The open is right around the corner. I've been working with them for less than 6 months, and I have decreased my back pain and hip pain to the point where
That's
I
awesome.
and I have been dealing with that, as you guys know, that have followed us for a while, for over 10 years. And I have had pain-free days. Now I actually feel sore and I don't feel pain. So if
That's
you want to
awesome,
feel
dude.
good
That's
and
awesome.
you want
And you
to,
PR'd your back squat, right? Or you
I
like tied it or
did.
something?
no, I PR'd my back squat. I've never done 175 before. And it felt and looked really easy. So I actually think that it's not actually my PR. But they are fantastic. Matt, the owner, is absolutely amazing. GTP 27. QR codes down there. And all right, I'm gonna end this up. Love you guys. We'll see you
Love
next
you
time.
guys. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Adios.
Bye.
Love you guys.
Deuces.